Hello, friends. Welcome to Masters Week here at Action Labs. My name is Peter Jennings. I go by CSURM88 across the daily fantasy industry and on Twitter. And I'm so excited for the Masters and the release of the golf product here at Action Labs. Shopping for price is imperative if you are serious about making money in betting. And I'm so proud of the tools that the team has delivered here at Action Labs to shop for the best price, and specifically around golf. So recording this early on Wednesday morning, we've had a lot of line movement, and I'm going to go into some of the golfers and how prices have moved across the board, as well as some big indicators that you can look at to kind of gauge where things are. So we'll start at the top of the board. Bryson DeChambeau has really moved in price ever since he won the U.S. Open. Kind of gotten to that 7 to 8 to 1 range. You can see here, kind of the legal book price is 750. Some of these really sharp offshores have a better price, Pinnacle specifically. But Bryson is the clear favorite in the betting markets, and I don't think there's any value on Bryson, but certainly I'm very curious to see how things play out. He is the hardest guy to predict from a modeling standpoint, given how he's going to attack this course. We've never seen any player attempt to take the lines that Bryson has, this new distance, and specifically carry, because Bryson has similar distance to someone like Cameron Champ, but he has significantly more carry, and he also hits the ball much higher. So that's going to enable Bryson to take some really, really aggressive lines, which open up wider landing areas, and he certainly could come out and win this tournament by a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised. But you still have to chip, you still have to hit your wedge shots close, you still have to putt well. So I think 10 to 1, this true line that we have here is much more in line with where Bryson should be relative to the market. Next guy is Dustin Johnson, who's moved a ton, and you can see here we're getting line movement. So if you stay on the screen, you'll see stuff move around, which is fantastic. Dustin Johnson has really moved up after a great week in Houston, where he put on a ball striking display, almost won. Happy he didn't. Shout out to Carlos Ortiz. But Dustin Johnson playing some great golf, was playing amazing before he got the COVID-19, and first went back, plays awesome, and coming into the Masters where he's played historically really well. I think DJ is a rightful favorite, or right there, and the market has moved heavily in his favor after Houston. He was kind of in the same range as Rahm and JT, maybe even a little bit lower, and he has just come screaming up the board. So no value left on Dustin, but I think he's priced appropriately. There is some value on Dustin Johnson, just from an equity standpoint, on DraftKings, where he's only $10,000, priced cheaper than Bryson, JT, Rahm, and Rory. Jon Rahm coming off 2 hole-in-ones in his practice rounds, including maybe the best hole-in-one that I've seen. Hole-in-one skipping it off the water, unbelievable on 16. He is moved as well. He's the best golfer in the world from my numbers, and certainly can make an argument from just strokes gained data. He was number 1 in strokes gained in 2020, or the 2020 golf season. He is someone that I'm very interested in across the board. I still think there's maybe a smidge of value at this number. He hasn't moved as heavily as DJ and Bryson, so Rahm at the top of the board is really interesting. JT, kind of in that same conversation as Rahm, and so is Rory. All those guys are kind of staying there. Xander has moved. Brooks Koepka has really moved, given how he played in Houston. Some really good rounds over the weekend. Was contending. So he has moved. The knee injury is a big thing to monitor there. I'll point out some other guys who've really moved, and I'll dig into kind of the top 5, top 10, top 20 markets. So some other guys that have moved broadly that I think are worth paying attention to. Hideki Matsuyama probably being the biggest. Another guy who benefits from really good recent form. Came in from Houston, which is a really, really, really predictive thing, given how it's our most recent form that we can go off of. That is something that you want to pay attention to with Matsuyama, and he has moved like crazy in the markets. I mean, absolutely crazy, especially in some of these sharper books. So Hideki Matsuyama is someone that I think you want to get in your DFS lineups and in cash games. Maybe a fade because he's going to be so chalk, but the value is there. It was all over Matsuyama. I have bet a lot on Matsuyama, but the market has moved most heavily towards him of any player in the field from matchups, outrights, top 5s, top 10s, top 20s. Bubba Watson's had a lot of really good line movement, given how well he's playing. He is the kind of prototypical type of golfer I like to bet on with his most recent form. Elite in terms of ball striking, gaining tons of strokes tee to green, top 5 in 2021 season. His putter has really just been letting him down. And at Augusta, how Bubba putts kind of dying it around the hole, at Augusta you're just trying to avoid those dreaded 3 putts, and Bubba's actually really good at that. So he won't lose his normal amount of strokes on the greens. Maybe he has a good putting week. He's obviously played great at Augusta, 2 green jackets, so I really like Bubba. Now we're getting down into the other parts of the leaderboard. A lot of these guys, there's still some value on. I like Jason Day quite a bit. I'm fading Morikawa, but he hasn't seen much line movement. Tiger's not getting the same Tiger bump. He's certainly got some short runs, but make sure, again, look at Tiger Woods. You can get him at DraftKings at 45-1. In other places, he's like 33-1. So there's some big discrepancies in terms of pricing. I want to comment on Jordan Spieth, who I think is really interesting. You're getting some pretty good numbers on Jordan Spieth if you shop. I don't hate that, even though he's not played great. I've been shorting Jordan Spieth for the most part, but he's just starting to find it. Missed the cut on the number last week, missing a short putt. And if there's any place he could just totally flip the switch, it's at Augusta. Scrolling a little bit farther down, you can see here that there's still some good numbers. Corey Connors I like, especially at 250-1. Siwoo Kim has some differing numbers across the board. I really like to sort and kind of look against some of these sharper books and see if there's some big discrepancies. JT Poston, you could say the same thing about. Sebastian Munoz, who I mentioned. So it's really helpful to go through these markets. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do within Action Labs. You can customize all the books that you want to add to your screen. You can look through different sports, obviously, and it's really cool for these other sports. I'll do more videos on those soon. But specifically for golf, the outrights, if you're going to bet outrights, make sure you get the best price. And I'd say the same thing for all these odds. I mean, look at the difference in some of these prices in the top 5s, top 10s. I mean, that 50 cents, 550 versus 500 is worth a lot for Patrick Reed. And you can really mess around and just kind of see where you're getting value here. And the order is somewhat similar for all these different markets here. You can see DJ and Bryson are grouped together and Rahm, and then there's a drop off to JT and Rory. That makes me like JT and Rory and those bets a little bit more relative to the outrights. And then you have top 20 bets where, again, you can really see some significant EV depending on the price. And make sure you're line shopping. I mean, there's some massive differences in these prices here for these guys. So hope this was helpful for you guys. I'll be doing more tutorials and videos. I'm so stoked for the Masters. I cannot stress enough that it is imperative to shop for the best price if you're serious about making money betting. And I think our Action Labs Markets tool will help you with that. Good luck to everyone sweating the Masters. Hope to see you guys with some winning bets. And if you're playing DFS, to see you guys at the top of the leaderboard. Good luck.